All right, 30 minutes later, we are back with another Be the Exception podcast. We had a bunch of technical difficulties that I'm not equipped to figure out, but I guess Ask Jeeves is, so thanks, Amy.
Hey, I'm a fixer.
Yeah, it worked.
I fix toilets at my house if you ever need help.
Not currently.
I can fix toilets. I can
Actually,
fix
the toilet
roofs.
out there is broken. You want to look at it?
Yeah. I can fix roofs. I can fix anything broken in my house.
Oh, that's good.
I don't need no man. Just kidding.
All right, what are we talking about today, Amy?
Topics today are camp recap and how to train for the Open.
Wasn't there another one too?
Well, we were going to talk about Amber, but
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that another time.
yeah.
Wasn't there something about Cracker Barrel?
Yes.
Their rebrand.
If you haven't heard, Cracker Barrel has rebranded, and they've gone a little woke.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look good.
Just go to Google and Google Cracker Barrel memes and see what you can come up with.
Create your own.
Yeah. There's one that I love. Can I say what it is?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
Send memes to Amy and see if you guess right.
They're wonderful.
Okay. So
Wait, Cracker Barrel opened in 1969
you don't know that. I think that's false.
because of the number at the end.
Look up when Cracker Barrel opened.
Hey Siri, when did Cracker Barrel open? Hey Siri,
This is the most.
when
ADD
did Cracker
fact.
Barrel open?
I found several matching places.
Hey,
Cracker
Siri.
Barrel, Old Country-
Why?
Hey Siri,
Why do you have
what
the
year
guy's
did Cracker
voice
Barrel
on
first open?
This is the worst. All right.
The first Cracker Barrel Old Country store was opened on September 19, 1969.
Wow, that was right. Okay.
This is from crackerbarrel.com.
All right.
Oh,
Okay. Let's maybe get back on topic.
okay.
Okay. So, well, we're talking about how to train for the Open
Yes.
and what
Camp recap. So let's start with camp recap.
camp. Okay.
We'll start with Friday. I was not here.
Yeah, you weren't here. We did the plyometrics on Friday with Virginia Sport and Spine Institute.
Can you tell me how that went?
Really good.
Did you get some data?
They brought in a plyometrics mat. I think that's the name of it. I might be forgetting the exact name, but it gave you was it RSI score, which is you doing 4 jumps off the mat, and then it gives you a number, and that number can kind of tell you there's enough data collected from that number to tell you kind of what strength continuum you need to be in. So if it was over a 3, you're strong enough to really get after like strength work. You're pretty powerful. If it was like a 2.4 or something like that, or 2.0 to 3, you kind of needed some more strength work. And if it was a 1 to 2 or below a 1, it was like you needed just hypertrophy and like skill work almost. Like skill work,
Interesting.
like you know how somebody comes in and you're like, okay, let's squat to this air ball, and they can't, or wall ball, and they can't do it. It's like that's
what you mean.
Learning a squat can be a skill. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
So did most of our athletes score over a 3?
No, there was only a couple that were in the high range. It was like 1 or 2 that were in the high range. Most felt like you're good. You just need some strength or plyo drills. But I think there was only like 2 or 3 that were above in the top category. Yeah. So they're strong for CrossFitters, but maybe not strong for sports athletes though.
Okay.
So I think I don't know exactly what that data point is based off of, like what those numbers are based off of. So it could be something like you're because one of them was like a greater injury risk. So if you're not in that higher range, like your tendons are at risk at a greater risk of injury, if that makes sense. So
Do you think that would mess with people's heads to see
that number,
Yeah.
possibly, but I mean, it just means you need to throw in a
Got
little
things
bit.
to work on.
Yeah, just like throw in a little bit more plyometrics to your training is all. Because CrossFitters really don't run either. So like, I bet you if you took people who were in the military prior to that and then had them test it, they would be at the higher number just because they've done so much running prior to, or specifically special operations, just because they've done so much running in the military. Like if you took me in 2016, like I probably would have been at that higher range.
Which one of these photos is 2016?
The one where I'm jumping.
That one?
Yeah.
If you can't see, this is a Kyle shirt. I'll give you one guess who made the shirt.
Yana. Mm-hmm. I know who made the shirt.
I do have something random to say, and it's not about Yana. So I'll say it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was Friday morning.
Yeah, Friday morning. So then you guys went into the...
Then we did the so this camp was built around doing kind of what you would see in a qualifier and a live competition, because we're getting into qualifier season for the sport. We have Wadapalooza, Fittest of the Coast, TFX qualifiers all coming up. Southeast has Beach Brawl. There's a bunch of like one-off local competitions that are happening all across the states. Obviously, Wadapalooza in California is next month as well.
CrossFit pairs.
CrossFit, yeah, Masters Fitness Collective is during the Wadapalooza qualifiers. So this time of the year, this fall time frame of the year is like kind of your fun comps that you're going to just to have a little bit of fun, keep some like focus for the year from the summer time frame, and then your qualifiers for your pre-competition phase of like TFX, Wadapalooza, Fittest of the Coast. Although Wadapalooza is in March now, which is crazy. That's going to be a change for a lot of people.
Isn't that during the Open?
Yeah, it's like I don't know when exactly it is, but that's a super interesting move. I don't know how that's going to go for them.
I actually heard that they were going to do one of the Open workouts live for their athletes. I actually heard that.
See,
Don't know if that's true, but I heard that.
The crazy thing is though, is like you need to be in your best environment possible to test that Open workout.
Yeah.
If you are not in the 1%. Like most of the people in the elite division at Wadapalooza can just do that workout and they'll walk into the Open, right? Or walk into semifinals. But there's going to be people in like the RX divisions and stuff like that will need to genuinely test that workout.
Or teams
that will need to genuinely test that workout at full capacity to sneak into that top 1%.
Yeah.
More than likely. Based off of last year, I'm assuming that the numbers will go up this year, so that might not necessarily be the case. But the Open, getting into semifinals, online semifinals, if that's even the structure that they have again this next year, is still going to be a pretty challenging task for a lot of people. And so the time frame of Wadapalooza is going to be very interesting this year, and we'll have to see what the season structure looks like. But they are going back to Carson next year, which is sick.
Carson for the games?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is sick.
That's cool. Did you compete there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like that really tall stadium that's
they have the tennis stadium
outside,
and they have
right?
the soccer stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's two. I never went onto the floor at Carson. The tennis floor. The first time they did that for teams, they might have done it in 2015. But in 2016, I thought it was 2016 was the first one. Nope, I take that back. It was 15. 16 they did it when we competed, but they cut down to only 10 teams going out to the floor. And we were in like, that year wasn't super great for us. We were in like 28th place. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Did they have swimming that year? You think they're going to throw that back in?
Did we swim in 16? Yeah, we did. We did a 500-meter ocean swim in teams. It was a dumb workout. So you basically had pairs that went and swam 500 meters. So like first two pair would swim, and when they got back, the next two would swim, and then when they got back, the next two would swim. So it's kind of just like you put your fastest first, second fastest second, and your slowest third. It was, I don't know. It was a workout. Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
No, I mean, it's an ocean swim.
Sharks, waves,
Actually,
jellyfish.
I think that year they did delay the swim because they found a shark off of the ocean. For the individuals. I think they delayed it for the individuals. I think it was fine for the teams, but they delayed it for the individuals.
So do you wait for the shark to swim away?
Basically, yeah. You literally, that's like, yeah,
You can't tell him to swim away.
yeah. You just wait. I mean, there was probably
Can't
some.
he swim back?
He could, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know I don't know the full safety precautions in that. But I swam a lot in the ocean. I did a lot of fins in the ocean when I was in the Marine Corps.
Did they let you wear fins for
In
that
the Marine
swim?
Corps.
What about in the games?
No.
Okay.
No. You were dry. Why did we get off topic?
Back to camp.
Oh,
So,
Carson. Yeah. Yeah. So the concept was kind of qualifier and in-person workouts. So our second workout was, so it's every 3 minutes you do 12 cal bike, 9 of a gymnastics movement, and then 6 of another movement. And then you take, for the first 3 sets, it was 1 snatch. Then you rested 2 minutes, and then for the next one, it was 1 clean and jerk. So I think the first one was 15 bike, 9 toes to bar, 6 box jumps, 1 snatch. And then the second one was like 15 bike, 9 chest to bar, 6 bar facing burpees, 1 clean and jerk. And so your score was your heaviest snatch and your heaviest clean and jerk. And we actually had a lot of people. Liana PR'd her snatch in that one. Bree hit postpartum. She hit 155 on her snatch, which she hasn't done in like 2 years, she said. And then she hit a postpartum clean and jerk PR. And then the next day she ended up cleaning 190 pounds.
Dang.
Or 195 pounds, which is also a postpartum PR. I think her heaviest clean lifetime is like 205, 215. So it's not far off. I mean, we still got some work to do for that. But and then Liana hit a 205 clean, which is matching her PR.
2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, yes. And then Amanda had World Fitness Project coming up, so she just did one clean every time, and she hit 2 something.
2
Something.
was it?
No, 2 something.
So good.
Yeah. So she lifted heavy. So, but that format was fun. I really liked that. We did a couple years ago, we did for our session workout, we did a CrossFit total that was, you had basically the same format, but you just rolled right into it. So there's no 2-minute rest. And you did something like a 15, 12, 9, and then you squat. So it was like a 15 cal bike, 12 wall balls, 1 back squat or something like that. And then the next one was 15 cal skier. This is guys, 15, 12 handstand push-ups, 1 strict press. And then 15 cal row, 10 snatches or something like that, 1 deadlift. So it was like compounding fatigue is what we were going for. And it was honestly brutal. It was like 30 minutes of just.
It does sound fun.
Yeah. But like you had to change your own weights. You had 3 attempts to get a max for the day. Like if you missed your back squat, you were like frantically trying to put the bar back on the rack. So that one was pretty fun. But I wish they would do more stuff like that in CrossFit, because the sport has evolved to the point where it's not necessarily testing 1RMs anymore for viewership purposes. Like at the Masters games, you had a 20-second window to hit a lift, right? You're not testing absolute strength in that format. The time windows are too short. So why not test what your sport is truly, which is lifting under fatigue, or lifting under fatigue for the most part. So throw in some sort of CrossFit in there and make people lift genuinely under fatigue.
I feel like I get more warmed up when we lift under fatigue.
A lot of CrossFitters do. Yeah. A lot of CrossFitters do.
And you really don't have time to think about your lift either.
I think that's a big thing. Yeah. Is you don't have time. And like, part of being strong is a central nervous system adaptation to it. Right. And, some people have just like really excitable central nervous systems, and some people need a really long warm up, and almost like a higher dose of intensity. It's like if you think about like wave formats in lifting, 3, 2, 1, and then you back down and go 3, 2, 1 again. Maybe you back down and go 3, 2, 1 again. That's designed to like ramp your central nervous system up So you ramp it up, come back down, ramp it up even higher, come back down, and ramp it up to its highest. But you've gotten segmented touches on that ramp up. So now you're able to just really like elicit a higher strength protocol. But I think there's people who need like heavier breathing and some like heavier breathing leading into and like extra blood flow to really ramp their central nervous system up to the point where they can just fire it. Because I've seen dudes who are like go to the trials for 50-meter freestyle, like Olympic trials for 50-meter freestyle, stupid explosive. Like his central nervous system is like primed at all times, or his central nervous system was primed at all times. Where like I would walk into the gym and like do better lifting in an EMOM. I'd hit closer to my 1RMs in an like actually my last clean PR ever came in an EMOM format. So it's just like I think there's different components to strength that just maybe haven't been studied in literature yet, and different athlete types that have been studied. And I think that the central nervous system is still a big mystery in regards to what's going on inside the human body. And that was like a fucking long ass tangent. Sorry.
ADHD.
Yeah.
ADHD.
For sure. So that was our Friday night workout. Saturday, what do we start off with?
Saturday, we started off with ring muscle up, the ring muscle up workout. Correct?
Was that the ring muscle? Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
12 minute MRAP, 10 power cleans.
Stop. We had that really great lady that came out and did, or was that in the middle of the day? And did the stretching with us and showed us like how to get our body. That was Sunday morning.
Yep.
We'll get there. All right, Saturday.
Yep. Saturday we did 12 minute MRAP, 10 power cleans, 10 wall balls, 5 ring muscle ups. And so that was a little bit more of like a qualifier workout where
That was fun.
Yeah, you just have repeatability and how consistent can you be on your rounds. We were able to, what we did with that one was we pulled times for everybody and their rounds, and we showed them like, look, if you come out too fast, yeah, cool, you did 1:20 on your first round. You did 2 minutes and 40. You literally doubled your time on your second to last round.
Yep.
Like, so if you slow this down just a little bit, you'll have better consistency across the board. And you'll actually be able to execute a little bit better towards the end of the workout and close it out. Which, shout out to Arthur. We had him go 3-2 from the start. And then he started being able to, in his last 3 rounds, go 5 unbroken. So it just kind of goes to show like those repeatability workouts, you can pace them really well. Like break it up. Think about it, breaking it up into almost chunks of like 4-minute windows or 3-minute windows. And each window has its different kind of theme or story to it that you're going to tell yourself to be able to push. So first 3 minutes, settle in, like don't come out too hot. You're just getting the body kind of warmed up for this one. Next one, okay, now you're in the workout. Just let's hold this consistent pace. Okay, third one of the 3-minute windows. All right, this one's going to be your toughest one, but you need to be able to stay consistent. So be diligent about just hitting your times. And then the fourth one is like, all right, close it out. And like, let's just go on this one. So that's kind of one way to look at that workout. And we really wanted people to kind of understand that CrossFit isn't always just full send and blackout and try and just get your best score. Like there is a pacing component to it, and you can use workouts that have those repeatabilities and checking people's round times to really show that that's like finding your fastest consistent round possible.
The clock was a good friend on that one.
Yep.
For counting rest time. So like I know on mine, I would look at the clock and make sure that I was getting, I think Griffin said 20 seconds from the wall ball to the ring muscle ups if you're pushing the ring muscle up. So like I looked at the clock because maybe it was 10 seconds. I can't remember. But I specifically made it a point to look because like we think 20 seconds is 20 seconds when you're doing CrossFit, but really
it's long.
You're chalking. You're standing under the bar. You're breathing heavy. By the time you get started, it's been 40.
Yeah.
So like paying attention to the clock was really helpful in that workout.
Yeah, for sure. The clock is definitely your friend in workouts like that. And that was something we talked about is like sometimes you're going to have the tool of the clock to be able to use like in your workout settings, in your own environment, you're going to have that as a tool. So use it, right? you're going to be able to complete your first round and get a glimpse of the clock and see where you're at. Okay, I went 1:45 on that one. I was a little bit fast. I'm going to slow it down 5 seconds. Where can I slow that down? Okay, I can take an extra second on my transition from the wall balls to the rings, and I can chalk up a little bit longer. Okay, I finished at 3:30. That was, or I finished at, so you're trying 3:40, back on pace. That was perfect. That was a 1:55 round though, so a little bit faster. And you can use those numbers to give you direct feedback on what you're doing from station to station in those workouts.
Yeah, and I know some of like Bree and Amanda broke up their wall balls.
Yep.
And that was not something I ever thought about until afterwards when we
Right. Yeah.
talked about the discussion. Why did they break up the wall balls? And Bree was like, well, it made it to where I could go unbroken on the ring muscle ups.
She could push, her press wasn't as fatigued.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And everybody's a little bit different on a workout like that. Like the wall balls don't necessarily matter as much in that workout, but you can't be like sitting there for 15 seconds. But they do suck enough to be like, it is a hindrance towards you performing
Yeah,
the
a
ring
little
muscle ups
breathing, too.
faster. Yeah. Yeah. So
Like I know around eight wall balls, you're like, uh-oh, my heart rate's speeding up just a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, that was a good workout. There was a lot of good lessons in that one. Friday night, we had a little bit more of like a live competition workout, and it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 front squats from the ground.
So fun.
Yeah, front squats from the ground, and then strict handstand push-ups with an increasing deficit. I miscalculated the equipment, so my bad. And we ended up having to do a little bit bigger deficit for the ladies than we were planning. But it was, the weights were 165, 75, 85, 95, 205 for the ladies. And I think for guys, it was 245, 55, 65, 75, 85. So guys' weights were a little bit lighter than the ladies. But then the ladies had a little bit bigger deficit on the handstand push-ups because they went the same deficit as the guys did.
I think everyone in our camp was shocked at the amount of deficit. I feel like everyone PR'd their deficit that day.
Yeah.
A bunch of us knew. I know me and Laura specifically had
Yeah.
no clue that we could even do deficits.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool to
see.
come in thinking, I've never done a deficit strict handstand push-up ever.
Yeah.
And then getting into 10, 20, and whatever the inches were.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Yeah, it was like 2.5, 5, 7.5, 9. I think because we went no deficit, 2.5,
Yep.
5-inch, 7.5, 9-inch deficit. Yeah.
Yep. I think ours were me and Laura's were a little short.
Yeah,
that Masters.
That Masters
Life.
life. Yeah.
But we still were stacking them plates.
Yeah, you were. So yeah, that was a fun workout. That one was kind of just like a capacity tester, and like in workouts like that, you get some gamification of like, if you guys haven't listened to Ryan and mine's podcast, but we talked about the game with like kind of quote unquote the game within the game of like, he gave an example of one of his athletes at regionals one year was kind of like neck and neck with a girl, and she decided to run her transitions, and he's like, on the last round she ran her transition back to her rope climb from her thrusters, and you could just see the other girl turn around, see her start running, and mentally just completely check out of the workout. And so in workouts like that, there's a little gamification going on that you kind of play with people, and we do those workouts specifically to get better at that and get athletes kind of learning how to do that. Some people just do better in general, just racing the clock though, so we don't always have people doing like playing a game. If you're a pretty seasoned or good competitor, you'll play the game, but for the most part, you're kind of for a lot of athletes in that workout, they do end up just kind of racing the clock.
Right.
Our top level athletes will play a game a little bit more. So, but yeah, that one was fun. And then Sunday we had Repair, Perform, Recover come out. Courtney, she stretched you guys out. You liked it?
It was great. I've been
Yeah?
using all the stretches.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. That's sweet. So we knew that from previous camps, we know that people are pretty beat up and
Yeah.
pretty fatigued by Sunday, especially because we're doing, we had jumping, which actually was a little bit lower volume. We did a good, I think, we did a pretty good job of keeping the volume down this time around. So we had jumping on Friday. We do our skills clinics on Friday, Saturday, where you're doing Ollie lifting and then going right into some handstand ring muscle up work. And same thing on Saturday, you're doing an Ollie lift. I think it was clean and jerk on Friday, snatch on Saturday, or maybe flipped. And then it was like ring muscle ups Friday, handstands on Saturday. And so you're just going for 90 minutes of just moving, constantly moving. And then you go do 2 workouts in the day. So it ends up being a lot by the time you get to Saturday. But I think with having that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 workout Saturday night allowed people to kind of be a little bit fresh going into Sunday. And Sunday we had, honestly, it's kind of a mix between the two. So it was 4-time 100-foot handstand walk, 5 rounds of 12 thrusters, 12 lateral burpees over the bar, 100-foot handstand walk. Put a little bit of an aggressive time cap at 12 minutes on that one. But that one, kind of a mixture of the two. Most of the time you'll see thrusters and burpees in some sort of qualifier workout, but the handstand walking, and especially at a 200-foot distance under fatigue, is something you'll see more in a live competition. So that was a little bit of like a coupled workout.
Again, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good workout. And what we really wanted to expose people to there is finding different movement variants in regards to being able to use your legs more on the thrusters and trying to figure out how to pop off the ground a little bit easier on the burpees, knowing that I've got a 100-foot handstand walk after this 5 rounds. And we put a little bit more of an aggressive time cap on the workout, so we were forcing people to push a little bit more on those thrusters and bar facing burpees, because it would have been very easy if we just did 4-time on this workout and made you finish it to just kind of coast 6 on every round of thrusters, knowing that you can shake the arms out, slower pace on the burpees, like jump over, take a breath, drop back down, let the shoulders shake out. So we put a little bit more of an aggressive time cap on that to force people to move faster in the actual mixed work and get up and try and kick up with stupid amounts of lactate in the shoulders or blood in the shoulders. So I think that was pretty good for people to see. And one thing that was a big takeaway from that is if you're in the 25-foot sections, your shoulders really start to flush out with blood. So that first 25, maybe 50 feet is going to be real gross. But as you're doing that, you should start to feel the blood decrease from the shoulders, and that last 50 feet should be a little bit easier in 25-foot sections. If not, then we need to work on your positional work, which we were doing with gymnastic stuff, and or build your capacity out with your shoulders and muscular endurance so that you can start to flush a little bit as you go on those handstand walks. So yeah,
That was a fun workout.
yeah,
It's a good one.
yeah. And then the last one, 50, 40 cal row, 50 deadlifts, 185, 125, 50, 40 cal row.
Another fun one.
Yeah, that one is just, we always try and do one that's just like full send.
Full send.
Yeah, full send at the end. Good scores on that one were like right around 5. I think Amanda went like 520 on it or something like that. So just, Emma was like 553. Bree was 610, so right around the 6-minute mark. What did you get on that one?
I can't remember. It was right.
It was like
right after Bree.
Yeah, it was like 6:15 or something like that. So right around that 6-minute mark. But we wanted people to try and on that one, figure out how to pull under crazy fatigue, because that whole workout is literally pulling. You go from lower body pull to a horizontal pull, or a horizontal pull, lower pull, horizontal pull, and relatively the same fatigue substrates, and then really try and just figure out how to move a barbell fast. So each one of the implements was about a 2-minute kind of interval. I think the deadlifts went a little bit faster than that. So it's kind of just a learning experience for people in that regard, and teaching you one reason we want to do full sends at the end of workouts is Usually live competitions have one, some sort of full send at the end of a workout or end of a competition. And then teaching you to really push your capacity even though you don't want to. Even though you're tired, even though you feel like shit, even though like everything hurts. Champions are made in that last workout, and you can claim your spot. Like you can look up countless stories of regionals, games qualifiers, whatever it might be, of athletes coming in that last workout out of a qualifying spot, sending it and getting into a qualifying spot. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the deadlifts were like the spot where most people could get better at? Like, because it seemed,
Yes.
looking around, it seemed like everyone was sending the row both start to finish.
Yeah.
But the deadlifts were like
That's where
more of a
if you're and this is what I tell people a lot of time, especially at live competitions, a lot of the time the more aggressive individual comes out on top at live competitions. So if you're not afraid of a number or a workout or whatever it might be, and you just go and attack, more often than not, that pans out for you. Will you blow up sometimes? For sure. Will it not work out all the time? Yes. But for the most part, the more aggressive individual will come out on top.
You saying come out hot?
No, I'm saying be aggressive.
Okay.
There's a difference. There's always a point in a workout where you have to make the decision of whether you're going to dig in and really attack this 50 deadlifts. So at 30 deadlifts, you're like, I need to dig in and attack these last 25, not coast in to these last 20, not, okay, I'm going to go 8, and then I'm going to take a longer break, and then I'm going to go 4, and then I'm going to go 4, and then I'm going to go 3 or something like that. Or 4, 4, 4, 4, whatever it might be. You need to be like, I'm going to go 8, 7, 5, and I'm going to take a shorter break between my 8 and my 7, maybe a little bit longer between the 5 so I can get back on the row and hammer it. But I'm going to be aggressive finishing these out, and I'm going to come off of the deadlifts before this person behind me. Does that make sense? And so you're being more aggressive at a specific point in a workout and attacking the workout, not necessarily being like, I'm coming out hot, all you motherfuckers better chase me, which can work sometimes if you know who you're competing against. It's more so I'm gonna play the same race game as everybody else, and then when this workout starts sucking, I'm gonna be the one that comes out in front and takes the lead on this workout. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. That's the camp recap.
That was fun. It was a great camp. And we also did video review.
Oh, yeah, we did a video review class that kind of, the day ran a little long, so we kind of kept it a little abbreviated.
I think that was helpful.
Yeah.
For some.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Really, honestly.
Yeah.
I know, like, I caught myself a few times, like, this week, looking at videos of myself. I mean, I do it every day, but, like, more thoroughly in training.
You understand why you're looking at the videos now. You're not just like, I like to see myself work out.
Yeah, so like when we first started together, I always got hammered on my bar facing burpees and video review for not jumping over the bar. It was more like a
scissor
trot.
Like
one foot was on the ground already before the other one took off kind of thing, and I like thought I was jumping, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole science to burpees, and so, like, I catch myself always looking at my burpees, looking at my videos to make sure, like, instead of blaming it on the judge or the qualifier, whatever competition it is, like, actually looking at the videos and making sure they work. So I'm confident with the work that was done.
Yeah.
So, like, I believe that really paid off to look through that.
For sure.
On Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm hoping that class gave people a little bit better idea of how to actually analyze their performances and like look at a video, and because in qualifiers that helps out a ton for your retest. Like you get to go back and look at all the data, see what you could have done better, your transitions, what your round splits were, your movement quality. Did a freaking baby run in front of your wall ball one time and you had to pause for a second, like all that stuff adds up in qualifiers. And it's to the point in this sport where seconds genuinely matter on each workout. And so you have to find every advantage that you can, even if it's a rep or 2 reps sometimes. That's a huge difference in a leaderboard with hundreds of people on it. So
yeah, I'm getting better at CrossFit math, like on my watch.
Yeah.
Like looking
That's-
down and
yeah.
CrossFit math.
When I was running cross country, it was you would know, like, when you run enough, you end up knowing, like, this is a 120 pace for a 400. This is a 135 pace for a 400. Because you're like gathering the data so much and you like get instant feedback, you know what your laps feel like.
Yeah.
And so you know the feel of everything. And that's honestly also one thing that is super important. This is something that I'm probably going to put some more data or like another post out about, is like, in running, you run consistent intervals. You don't stray away from, oh, this one's feeling good, so I'm just going to take off at a 4-minute mile pace. And now all of a sudden you're like 4-minute mile, 4:20 mile, 7:30 mile, 8:10, 5:53. And it's like, okay, well, the purpose of this session was to train you racing at a 5:15 pace. You decided to come out hot, and now we have all this junk speed work, or not even speed work, but all this junk running almost at these slower paces when we wanted to train your body how to run at a 5:15 mile. We've trained how to run faster, which is like okay, but that wasn't the intent of the session, and it's not going to really translate over to what we're trying to do, is build endurance out at that 5:15 pace. You got speed work from it. And so that same thing transfers over to intervals in CrossFit, where if you're not being as consistent as you possibly can with your intervals, now you're getting training at too fast of a pace that you wouldn't hold inside of a workout ever, which we need to do sometimes. We need to do that, but it needs to be like a specific training protocol for that. But then you're getting all this fatigued, slow-based training that's just ends up being either junk volume that we didn't want because it's too slow, or just junk training in general because
It's like pointless.
It's pointless, yeah. So with intervals, what we're trying to do is just keep that just above what we would hold inside of a workout consistently. And so we're training our body to be operating at this set pace. And it will, when we come back around to a workout, we slow that set pace down just a little bit. And now we're able to sustain a certain pace for longer periods of time. So like that CrossFit math is super important because you're like, sick, I got that one done in 4 minutes and 31 seconds, 4:32, 4:30, 4:31. And now you hit all your intervals right at something that's a little bit faster than what you would typically hold inside of a workout. And you accumulated all that speed work at that set pace.
Yeah. The other day, though, there is a downfall. Looking at it too much or in the middle of an actual movement. So like the other day, I looked down in the middle of burpees. Like I look at the beginning of the burpees because you always say like 30, like keep it around 145. I think is what you said, under 2 minutes, like 145 to 155. And I'm looking down at my watch in the middle of it, making sure I'm meeting the time constraints.
Yeah.
I think looking at it in the beginning as you're transitioning can pay off.
Totally.
And seeing the end can pay off. And you're like, all right, I'm still on track. But the downfall to it is if you're not on track, you got to make it up somewhere.
Right. Somewhere
So like
in the interval.
getting yourself to make it up wherever you're, if it's an interval, if it's, you probably shouldn't be looking at it during like semifinals and stuff like that, right? You're
More
just
than
going.
likely you would have a coach with you that would be like giving you pacing instructions, or somebody would be giving you pacing work. Yeah.
Because this could also like mean I'm taking a breather. You know what I mean? So like you have to use it in the right way.
It's a tool, but like when we come to competition, all the tools that we've used in training need to just be put into a performance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You could technically just not wear your watch.
Yes, right. Like I always think of competitions as a performance. Like you're going out there and showcasing like what you worked on and how you built up that play or built up all that capacity
Any
and
sport,
whatever
right?
it is. Yeah. So like it's an art form, right? Like actors might repeat lines to themselves or look in the mirror and do all this, facial stuff to get their to get their faces to look a certain way under a certain emotion or whatever. Performance is the same thing. You're using that tool to elicit that performance, right? And like an actor's not going to have a mirror in front of them while they're reading their lines on a set, right? Or they might repeat lines because you can take multiple takes, but like a actor on stage couldn't do that, right? So that's kind of like what we're trying to do is you can use the tools in training. The tools should be there in training. They're going to help you get better. But when we go out to the competition floor, set those tools aside, and you should just be going off of instinct at that point in time.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So that was camp. We just
Yeah.
talked about camp.
What time is it?
9:44.
We got to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. That's going to be real annoying for people listening.
So we were going to talk about how to train for the open. So I guess we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
I'm already inviting myself back.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, that was a camp recap.
Go Amber.
Go Amber. Yep. Hopefully you guys learned something from this podcast. We'd love to have you out to one of our camps. We'll be dropping, not this week. We're going to drop another hint on where our next one is. And
I thought you just did yesterday.
Well, that's our gymnastics camp.
Okay. You should tell people about that.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah. We got a gymnastics camp at CrossFit Refine in Conway, Arkansas on November 15th and 16th. Crystal will be putting that one on. She is obviously our gymnastics coach. If you guys have seen Diverge Gymnastics, it's kind of one of our brands under our umbrella. I'll be out there with her helping out, and we're going to go over we're going to have two sections. So we're going to have like an RX section and a scaled section on Saturday. And then there's an option to do a 2-day seminar where we're going to go over a little bit more higher skill stuff that we won't touch on in the 1-day seminar. So you can purchase a 1-day, or we have 10 spots available for the 2-day. But we're going to separate people into kind of like learning or scaled, and then advanced in RX.
Awesome.
And so we'll do 4-ish hours with the scaled, 4-ish hours with the RX. And then the next day will be just 10 people, a little bit of a smaller group. So we'll have 5 and 5 basically. And we'll go over kind of some of those higher level skills of like pistols, rope climbs, stuff like that. So yeah,
Cool.
should be fun. And then we're going to drop a hint on next week of where we're going to run our next Be the Exception camp.
You should comment in the comments where you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Please like and subscribe. Amy, thanks for coming on again. I
Yeah,
guess we'll
thank
do
you.
this again soon to talk about how to train for the open.
Okay, bye.
Bye.